How's it going, YouTube? So we did it. The most recent upload reached 1,000 views. So I'm a man of my word. Once I saw it, I was like, hey, this is awesome. And I read every single comment, and a lot of it was really supportive, and others I resonated with because it's pretty relatable to the video itself. Anyways, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about how sometimes we don't find our purpose, but rather our purpose finds us. But before I dive deep into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about my state of mind, how I'm doing. So I'm doing a lot better than I was last time. I was super tired, recruiting nonstop, interviewing nonstop, filling out job applications day in and day out, 7 days a week. And I'm still doing that. But I think once I started implementing more self-care, as in working out every single day and taking care of myself, getting adequate sleep, I'm finding that I'm able to go on this journey while not getting burned out. Because sometimes if you just keep going 110 miles per hour non-stop, you're gonna burn out. Doesn't matter if you're Superman, doesn't matter if you're David Goggins, everyone has their breaking limit and you'll burn out. That's why it's really good to just take rest sometimes. Bernie, what are you doing? Come here. So, I gave him my little red couch that I used to have in the army, and he's ripping it, which is not good. So, Bernie, it's okay. We went running right before this video, and that's why my hair is wet, because I showered. And this is his nap time. I don't know why he's still here. You want to sit on the red couch? Sit right here. Another little thing I want to talk about is for the past 5 or 6 years, I think the past 6 years, right? 2014. Yeah, so for the past 6 years, what I've been doing is about twice a year, once in the summer, once in the winter, I donate a bulk of my clothes. If I realize that I don't wear it anymore, or if it's better suited for someone else, I pack it up and I donate it. For the longest time, what I did is I just got 2 or 3 big trash bags, and I would fill it up, tie it up, and drop it off at my local Goodwill or thrift store. But now I'm trying to do things a little differently. So for the past 2 years, 2018 up until now, what I've been doing is I gather up the clothes that I want to just donate to Goodwill in one go, which is still a good intention. But instead what I do is I break it down into outfits. So a small size t-shirt with bottoms, maybe pants or shorts with socks, or sometimes I have this is an XXL. I'll put together an XXL shirt and some sweatpants that can stretch, and that can be an outfit. So you see right here, I recently did my annual summer clothes purge, and I put together a few outfits. And what I do is when I drive around, when I go get my Bernie, Hajima, don't rip it, don't rip it. When I drive around and when I see someone that looks like they need a little help, a little, a hand reached out to them, man, I just do it, right? I just roll down the window and say, hey, my man, or excuse me, do you need some clothes, or could I bless you with some clothes, or you know what I mean? It's just what I do. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is I think a lot of us, we have clothes in our closet that we don't even wear anymore. And sometimes it might be better off if we were to allow someone else to have it, right? Rather than allowing it to collect dust, it might be better off to bless someone like that. And every time I buy a box of donuts, which I really shouldn't, but I do. Every time I buy a box of donuts, a 6-pack or a 12-pack, what I do is if I see a homeless person, I am not exaggerating. I roll down the window and I say, hey man, you want some donuts? I give some donuts. It's just who I am. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is the theme of this video is purpose. Okay, so I want you to keep in mind why I might be sharing these stories as I now dive deep into the topic. Bernie, will you go night-night? Will you take a nap? Okay, take a nap. Go this way, take a nap. So, I think from my observation and being a part of the younger generation, right? The millennials and Gen Z. I think for us, purpose is very important. Some of us will spend all of our shower thoughts, wakeless nights in bed, and conversations with our friends talking about like, what am I gonna do with my life? What's my purpose? Why am I here? And sometimes purpose can be so prioritized that it can be the decision maker for our purchases. I think, and what I've seen, and the data shows too, that the younger generation, the millennials and Gen Z, we're willing to pay more for a product or service if we know that it's good, clean, efficient, and it's not a bad company. Because purpose is really important to us, right? As it should be. But what I'm trying to suggest for you today, and what took me such a long time to realize, is sometimes you can't force it. You can't just be like trying to micromanage your life to the point where you find your purpose. I just feel like it doesn't work that way. And if it does, sometimes it's gonna be like artificial. You want the donut? Go get donut. It could be artificial or even like superficial, or you might even just fit it in saying like, oh, that was my purpose. I think in our lives, from the moment we're born to when we become teenagers, he's doing like CPR to donut, to when we become adults, parents, grandparents, I think our purpose in life changes. It evolves, right? I really don't like the notion of purpose being this one entity, this one definition that's tied to a career or tied to a chapter of our life. Saying like, that's what I'm due for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna be a football player. I'm gonna be the best cook, chef, artist for the rest of my life. And that's all I wanna do. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be sad. I'm sorry about the sound effects. But he's having fun, with his donut. It happens. Yeah, so like referring to my notes, I wrote down, no matter how much effort, time, and priority you put into finding your purpose, you just can't force it. Because if you force it, it's just... The question you have to ask is it really your purpose? Or is it something that you just shifted in your mindset to believe that it's your purpose? Whereas your real purpose was over here the entire time and you ignored it, you turned your back on it, you kept closing a door that the universe opened for you, and you can't close doors that the universe opens for you. One way or another, it finds its way back into your life. It's crazy, but sometimes that's the way it works out. Not always, but sometimes. Yeah, and as I talk about how we go through different seasons and how our purpose evolves, you gotta trust the process. Sometimes you're going through a certain time in your life for a reason, because later on it'll all make sense when you end up becoming an addiction counselor, or when you become a teacher, or when you become an accountant or a coder. Everything in your life, this is my belief. Obviously, it's subjective, right? I think that most of the events that occur in our life happen for a reason, to teach us a lesson, or for us to go through an experience so that we can shape the lives of others through our knowledge, our wisdom, our time. But I don't want us to have this notion that we have to tie our purpose to our career. For some of us, a job is just a job so that we can pay the bills, so that we can put food on the table, pay for our Netflix account, pay for this and that. And then your true purpose might be your children. Your true purpose might be the way you serve at your church. Your true purpose might be how, like, maybe your spouse has an immune disorder and your purpose is all about raising awareness and funds and donations and hoping to make an impact so that other people that might be infected by the immune disorder don't have to go through what you might be going through, right? I don't like the idea of like, my purpose is being this, like a career. Because when you tie your satisfaction, your fulfillment, and your purpose to your career, what happens when you get fired? What happens when that industry gets shattered? What happens if this and that, like a pandemic? None of us saw that coming. There were a lot of industries that just got shut down cold turkey. Now I'll caveat that by saying there are some careers where your purpose can be tied with it, right? But I'm talking about for the majority of us. Is it really the best way to do it? Right. Like I think about it, if you really love animals, you might tie your purpose to it. Maybe you volunteer at the shelter. Maybe you do work at the shelter. Maybe you're an accountant that helps with the finances for the shelter. Or you are a janitor or whatever it is, right? Just because you love animals, it does not mean you have to be a direct handler or a direct trainer. Anything that contributes towards the mission is fulfilling the purpose. So I see how sometimes a career can be adjoined with a purpose. But sometimes, a majority of the times, it doesn't work that way. And I just want to talk to you and tell you that it's okay if your purpose is not tied to your career. Yeah, I wrote this down and I think it really makes sense. It might resonate with you. Let me know if it does. If it doesn't, this is just one guy's opinion, right? There's going to be multiple opinions about how purpose is supposed to be done in this world. Bernie, Hejima. Bernie, Hejima, you want your donut? Here, go get your donut. Trying to rip up the couch. So I wrote down purpose is different for everyone. Elon Musk's purpose is different than your dentist's purpose. Big or small, significant or impactful, whatever your purpose is, it's the right one for you. You know, when I was younger, I used to always tie like the quantity of lives that I impacted in a positive way as my purpose. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's not about the quantity. Sometimes it is, it can be. But what I'm trying to say is there's always another side to the story. What I'm trying to get at is, maybe you have a similar impact of trying to impact the circle that's around you. Maybe it's your classroom. Maybe it's just touching one life so that they end up graduating high school and becoming a first-generation college graduate. Even just that one life that you impacted in such a significant way, that is awesome. And you shouldn't understate that. I don't even know what he's doing over there. Hold on. He like tossed his bed off at the window here. I think it's good to associate like a target goal of like maybe I want to impact like 1,000 lives. Like it's good, but don't ever try to quantify your impact onto people. Because you never know how you change the trajectory of one individual's course through your work, your purpose, your service, your time, your effort, your participation. Sometimes I think about my time in ministry and I think about all the individuals that I've counseled over the years and shepherded and mentored and coached and encouraged and listened to. And I forget sometimes about me as one individual, how I was able to shape so many different lives. And so what I'm trying to get at is when you associate it too much with the numbers, you might lose sight of the impact that you really made. Like I think about all the different suicide interventions. I think about all of those that I helped that were suffering with depression or anxiety or just trying to figure out who they are in this world and or going through a crisis or divorce or a bad time and I don't even know where I'm trying to get with that. But anyways, where I'm trying to get at is just try not to think like, oh, if I set out to do 100 and I only got 27, it wasn't good enough and feeling sad. Think about it. That's 27 you reached. 27 you changed. 27 that you helped get back up and get into the fight called life. Oh yeah, this is really important. I also wrote down, sometimes a purpose could be even something you do on the side or after work or your hobby. I think what's important is to have an open mind and to allow the purpose to find you. If you try so hard, taking so many different classes in college or trying different things and trying to force it to find your purpose, it could be a never-ending journey. Eventually you might find it. But what I think is, whatever season you're in, give it your all. Make it your purpose. Give it your effort, give it your time, give it your energy. And be open-minded. You never know, right? Some of the people that I talk to that go off and be teachers, it's because they had a teacher growing up that impacted them in such a way that they wanted to do the same for the next generation. My fellow veterans that joined the military, right? It's in life, we have so many interactions with people and events that shape us more than you know. And if you assume this posture of humility and open-mindedness, sometimes that's how you allow your purpose to find you. And it aligns with your heart, with what you're meant to do. But remember, as you progress through the book of life and you go through a different chapter, maybe you're in college, you become a young adult, maybe you become a parent, it's okay to understand that your purpose might change as you evolve. And I wanted to take the time to say this. In the beginning, I wanted to tie it right here. All of us actually do have a common purpose in life. I'm not trying to say that it should be the most priority or the secondary, but I'm trying to say it's one of our purposes. A lot of us are not just single-purposed, right? A lot of us have multiple purposes in our lives, whether it's career-related, family-related, community-related, church-related, school-related. We have multiple purposes. But what I'm trying to say is there's a purpose that ties all of us together, and this is what I believe. I think that every single one of us, our destiny, a part of our destiny, our journey in this life is so that we can impact another life, help another soul, assist, support our neighbor. That's a common purpose that all of us share. And I just want to challenge you, me, whoever's watching, listening, or not even listening. I just want to challenge all of us to just, I know we live busy lives and it's very fast-paced, or maybe it's not very busy and it's slow and you dread waking up in the mornings and it's slow. Regardless of the situation, let's take some time out of our day to help others out. Can you imagine how much better the world would be if we were just a little bit more kind to the people that are around us? And I wrote this down here that's really important. You know, if we tie our purpose to like just making as much money as we can, or to the promotion, or to the title, or to the degree, or to the school, or to this or that, which will all be not as significant when you're on your deathbed, right? Are you really going to be hugging and kissing and holding the hands of your diploma, of your job title, of your career? Or do you think it's going to be the hands of those that you loved and those that loved you, those that cared about you and those that you cared for, right? I think it's all about getting our priorities straight. But I'm not trying to say, oh, we should walk around, be homeless, and not have any ambitions. I think it's good to want to climb the corporate ladder or to get this specific PhD degree or anything like that. I think it's good, but let's not lose sight of what's important in our life. The relationships that we build, that we maintain, that we foster, that support us, that care about us, that listen to us, that cry with us. Don't forget about the people that were there with you in the beginning. Because what's sad is, one thing that I've noticed is when people get rich or when they get fame, I've experienced both by associating and hanging out with people that went from being average in terms of like income or status to being super famous to either being really rich. And sometimes people change and they forget their roots. They forget where they came from and they forget the people that helped them get to where they are. But now that you're hearing this, you have an opportunity not to be like that. No matter what it is, no matter what small or big success you achieve in life, to always remember where you came from and to love and to give time for the people that support you. Yeah. So I wrote this here. Knowing you have helped another individual to live a better life is a profound experience. Don't ever underestimate the power of altruism, the power of volunteering, the power of helping another soul. It's remarkable. Like, I did that day in and day out for 3 years, and I can tell you, like, that was my full time. Career, my full time. Everything. I'm not trying to say you gotta do it full time. Maybe if it's even once a week, once a day, once a month, once a year. It will really open your eyes to see how much of an impact all of us can have on another life. You don't have to be Oprah or Bill Gates, right? You can just be you, who you are, and change another life for the better. Through your hands, through your heart, through your blessings. Like me, man. I mean, like, the reason why I share that story about, like, think about it. I don't know how long they went without food or how hungry they are. I'll give a water bottle out. I'll give them some of my Krispy Kreme donuts. I will give them a fruit, a can of soup. I'll do it. I'll give them my socks. Sometimes I even give them my sweater. I'm like, dude, you look cold. Take it. It's yours. I don't even want it. And I say it like that so they don't feel like it's like a handout or I'm looking down on them. Like, bro, like, you know what? Here, you take it. You have it. I don't even want it. Like, you can have it, bro. I remember I gave someone that was in the streets, looked like he needed help. I gave him one of my favorite pair of shoes. I was in my my car at the time. I was like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? And I went up to him and I was like, bro, I got these sick kicks. You would love them. Like, I think you would love them, man. And you should have seen the reaction on his face, right? It can melt your heart. And I'm not trying to say that the small action of giving him one of my favorite pairs of shoes away changed his life. But I know in that moment, he was touched and he felt like somebody cared about him. I won't lie though, sometimes it is a little challenging when I do have like a favorite sweater or socks or a pair of pants or shoes that I have in the car, in the back seat or trunk, and I see somebody out there looking like they're struggling, they need a little love. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to, but I do. I give it away because I'm like, you know what? If I was cold and I was outside and I was going through a rough patch in my life, it would bring me a little sense of comfort to know that there's somebody out there who's willing to just lend a helping hand for even a second. Anyways, I wanted to share something that I found, a study conducted by the Harvard Business School. So they gathered the data and this is what they found. Helping others can have a significant positive impact on your personal happiness. Spending money on others predicted greater levels of happiness. This includes volunteering time, so it's not just a currency of money, but also if you invest your time into helping others. I think what I'm trying to get at is sometimes, not everyone, you will see successful people that seem to have it all. They've got the money, they've got the title, they've got the big house, the car, the phone, the materialistic possessions. But at the end of the day, Are they truly happy at their deepest core, or are they masking it? Through alcohol, through broken relationships, through materialistic items, substance abuse, you name it. Some successful people are very happy. Other successful people are not very happy because with their wealth and their privilege and their money and their time, they're selfish about it. They hold on to it and they only care about themselves. I think it's interesting. When you get lost and you get busy and you get productive helping others, you end up becoming happy yourself. And that's a common purpose that we all share in this life. We're all destined in our journey to make the world a better place, to make an impact on a life or a group of lives, to help our neighbor. That's a purpose that we all share, to help someone out, to help our neighbor. Pretty interesting when you think about it like that. So that's a purpose that if you feel like today you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm telling you, that is one purpose that every single individual on this earth could be doing, should be doing, and can be doing, but they aren't, or they won't, or you know what I mean? So that's a good place to start, I think. Let me read more facts. When you invest your time, or even your money, or both, to helping other people out, the less fortunate, to support our neighbors, or etc., the study from Harvard Business School has found that there was an increase in self-esteem, psychological well-being, and happiness. That says a lot, right? That really says a lot. If you don't know what your purpose is, assume a posture of humility and be open-minded, and to invest fully and put everything that you have into the moment of the season that you're going through, because it'll all make sense eventually. You might not see it now, but it'll all make sense eventually of why you're going through, went through, or might go through a certain event, or with an engagement, relationship, interaction with a certain individual. But as a goal, I think it's good, right? To say like, hey, I want to be a dentist because my purpose is to help blah, blah, blah. It's good. But to associate your sense of life and worth and value and purpose in life to a single trajectory, I don't know about that. Because remember what we talked about. Whatever season you go through, your purpose might change from the one that was before or the one that's to come when you become a parent and now your children are your purpose, right? It really depends. Anyways, I'm trying to get back into the skincare game. I did a lot of research and I ended up settling on Purito Centella Unscented Serum. I'm probably gonna give it a go and see how it is. Cause I realized like, man, I'm turning 29 or 30 here in a few weeks, couple weeks, and my skin is starting to get wrinkles. Feels weird, but it's starting to happen. And so I realized it's now or never, I gotta start slowing it down as much as I can, the aging effects. So I'm trying to step up my skincare game. And let me know what you thought of this video, by the way. Did it help you? Did it speak to you? Did you resonate with something that I said? Do you disagree with me? I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me because this is very subjective. I agree. It is. It's very subjective. But, you know, I think what I prioritize is like personal happiness, relationships, and making the world a better place. And I think that's the reason why I framed it the way I did. It depends on a person's priorities of why they might not see eye to eye with me. It really depends on where they are in life too. Anyways, I'm probably gonna close this out and just remember, if you, I'm gonna say it right now, some of you watching this, you probably know what your purpose is and you're just avoiding it. Avoiding eye contact, turning your back against it, or trying to close the door that the universe opened for you. And some of you are watching this saying, I still don't know what my purpose is. Just remember what we talked about, right? Just be open-minded, have a sense of humility to experience what you're going through, and to think like, you know what? Maybe, you see what I'm saying? Like, be open-minded, be curious. But don't try to micromanage your life and say, I'm gonna find my purpose no matter what it takes. Just pump the brakes, take it easy. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Anyways, when this video reaches 1,000 views, I will make another video and we'll talk very soon. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. Please stay safe. Okay, bye-bye.